Have you ever been in a meeting where the business folks and the tech folks just seem to be speaking two completely different languages? Well, today we're going to talk about a tool that was basically designed to be the ultimate translator in that situation. It's called Cucumber, and it's all about bridging that huge communication gap in software development.
So let me just ask you this. What if your project manager, or even your CEO, could look at your automated tests and know exactly what the software is supposed to do? No translation needed, no confusion, they just get it. Sounds pretty revolutionary, right? Well, that gap between technical code and human understanding is the exact problem we're going to tackle.
Okay, so to really understand why a tool like Cucumber even needs to exist, we've got to start with the original problem. This communication breakdown that's been a headache in software testing for a long, long time.
For years, the gold standard was something called test-driven development, or TDD. And in that world, tests are code. They're written by developers for developers in languages like Java or Python. Now that's great for the engineers, but for everybody else on the team, it pretty much builds a giant wall.
And this is the heart of the problem. If your tests are just a bunch of code, a business analyst, a product owner, a stakeholder, they can't understand any of it. They have no way of knowing if the tests are actually checking for the right business rules. So you end up in this weird spot where the people who define the requirements can't actually read the tests that are supposed to enforce them.
So, how do you knock down that wall? Well, it takes a totally different way of thinking, a whole new philosophy. And that philosophy is called behavior-driven development. BDD was created specifically to solve this communication mess. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. Instead of writing tests, you focus on describing the software's behavior in plain, simple language. This creates one single, shared understanding that everyone on the team, technical or not, can agree on.
And that's really the secret sauce of BDD. It's not just another testing technique. It's a framework for collaboration. It's designed to force those important conversations between the business side, the developers, and the testers before a single line of code gets written. It makes sure everyone is on the exact same page from day one.
All right, so if BDD is the philosophy, the big idea, how do you actually put it into practice? You need a tool for the job, and that tool is Cucumber.
Just think of Cucumber as the engine that makes the whole BDD car go. It takes those plain language descriptions of behavior that everyone agreed on, and like magic, it turns them into actual automated tests that can be run. It's the bridge that connects the human-readable document to the machine-executable code.
Now, the magic behind Cucumber is a really simple syntax called Gherkin. It's not even a real programming language. It's more like a structured way of writing sentences. It just uses three main keywords: given to set the scene, when to describe an action, and then to state the expected result.
I mean, just look at how simple this is. Given she is hungry. When she eats 3 cucumbers. Then she will not be full. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can read that and understand exactly what's being tested. It's crystal clear, there's no ambiguity, and there's not a bit of confusing code anywhere in sight.
Okay, but that's the part that sounds too good to be true, right? How does this plain English sentence magically turn into a real running test? Well, the way it works is actually pretty brilliant.
It's this clever two-part system. So up front, you have what's called the feature file. That's just a simple text file with all those Gherkin scenarios. This is what the whole team reads, writes, and discusses. Then, behind the scenes, the developers create something called step definitions. This is the code that connects each of those English lines, like when she eats 3 cucumbers, to the actual automation code that clicks the buttons and checks the results in your app.
And this right here, this is the aha moment. On the left, you see a traditional test. To anyone who isn't a developer, that's just a wall of gibberish. But on the right, that is the exact same logic, just expressed in plain English using Gherkin. The difference is just night and day. One is a language for machines, the other is a language for the whole team.
So when you put it all together, what are the biggest wins? Why do so many teams choose to work this way? Let's break down the core benefits.
You know, the biggest benefit is definitely that collaboration we've been talking about. But a close second is this awesome concept of living documentation. Think about it. Because your tests are your documentation and you're running them all the time, they can never be out of date. Plus, it's free, it's open source, it works with a ton of different programming languages, and it can even be faster than other frameworks.
So really, in the end, this isn't just about some cool testing tool. It's about finding a common language.
And that leaves us with a really important question to think about for our own work. What could we achieve if everyone, from the business stakeholders all the way to the newest developer, was speaking the same language, working from the exact same page? What could that kind of clarity transform for your team?